Let's be honest, navigating your family's dental care can feel like a pretty huge task, but it really doesn't have to be. I want you to think of it more like a journey, one where you, the parent, are in the driver's seat, building a foundation of health that's going to last a lifetime. To help you on this journey, we've broken it all down into 5 key steps. First, we'll start with the why. Why is early care so absolutely crucial? Then we'll get practical and talk about the search for a dental home. After that, we're going to tackle the big one, dental fear. Then we'll get you set up with a clear action plan. And finally, we'll look ahead to the future and how to build a real partnership for your family's health. So let's dive right in at the very beginning. One of the first questions pretty much every parent has is about those tiny little first teeth that pop up. I mean, what's the big deal, right? It's a totally logical question. They're temporary, they're not going to be there forever. So how important can they really be in the grand scheme of things? Well, the answer from all the dental experts is crystal clear. That idea is a complete myth. It's actually one of the most common misconceptions out there. The truth is, the health of those first few teeth sets the stage for everything that comes next. Think about it like this. Baby teeth are doing some serious heavy lifting. They're not just placeholders, not at all. They are the tools that let your kid chew properly and get good nutrition. They're critical for developing clear speech. And maybe the most important job they have, they act as perfect little space savers, guiding the adult teeth right into position. When problems pop up this early, the impact can ripple out and affect everything from a child's confidence to even how well they do in school. Okay, so now that we've got the why covered, let's tackle the how. How in the world do you find the right dental practice for your family, a place that can become a true dental home? So you're generally going to find 2 main types of practices out there. On one hand, you've got your smaller family-owned offices. They often focus on building that personal, long-term relationship. You see the same faces every time. On the other hand, there are larger corporate practices. They might have more standardized systems, but sometimes they can feel a little less personal. Look, neither one is better than the other. It's all about finding the right fit for your family. So as you're searching, maybe keep this little checklist in your back pocket. Do they offer a bunch of different services? That's huge for avoiding having to run around to different specialists later. Obviously, check out the dentist's qualifications. But here's a big one. What's the vibe of the place? Does it feel warm and welcoming for kids? And hey, look for signs of modern tech, like digital x-rays. That means less radiation. And last but not least, don't be shy about money. Make sure they're upfront about costs and work with your insurance. All right, so you found the perfect clinic. Awesome. But now comes what can be a real challenge for a lot of families, the actual visit. Let's talk about dental fear, because it is real, it's super common, and here's the good news. It can absolutely be overcome. If your child gets anxious about the dentist, I want you to know they are far, far from alone. In fact, studies show that over 12% of kids have significant dental fear and anxiety. That's more than 1 in every 10 kids. Sometimes it just helps to see that number, to know you're not the only one dealing with this. So what's actually driving that fear? Well, when over 1,000 pediatric dentists were asked, a very clear picture emerged. The top 3 triggers are all neck and neck. The idea of getting a tooth pulled, and right behind that, just seeing a syringe, and then the injection itself. It really boils down to a fear of the unknown and, of course, a fear of pain, especially from needles. So how do the pros handle this? Well, one of the most effective, kind of like a secret weapon, is a technique called tell, show, do. It's simple. First, the dentist tells the child what's going to happen, using kid-friendly words like, "We're going to count your teeth with this special tooth counter." Then they show them the tool, maybe letting them feel the little vibration on their finger. And finally, they do the procedure, exactly like they said they would. This simple process just demystifies the whole thing and builds a ton of trust. And this brings us to a super important point. The power that you have as a parent. Your role is so much more than just scheduling appointments. It's about actively shaping your child's entire oral health journey. Here's a quick little roadmap of what to expect. That first visit should happen by age 1. And really, it's just about getting them comfortable. Around age 6, those big adult molars come in. So that's a perfect time to talk about sealants to prevent cavities. By age 7, a quick orthodontic check can spot any issues early on when they're easiest to fix. And then before you know it, you're helping them navigate the transition to adult dental care as a teenager. And back at home, you have the power to make all of this fun. Seriously. Turn brushing into a family dance party. Let them pick out a cool toothbrush with their favorite character. Find a 2-minute song on your phone and just go for it. You can even use things like sticker charts to celebrate a whole week of great brushing. The goal here is to reframe it from a chore into just a normal and maybe even fun part of the day. When you take a step back, all of these things, finding the right clinic, managing fear, building good habits, they're all pointing towards something much bigger, creating a true partnership for lifelong health. There's actually a name for this. It's called continuity of care. But all that really means is finding a dental team you trust and sticking with them for the long haul. Think about it. When your dentist really knows your family's history, they can spot tiny changes over time. They can be proactive, preventing problems instead of just reacting to them. That's the real power of a long-term relationship. And if there's just one thing you take away from all of this, I hope it's this. More than any fancy technique or new technology, your attitude as a parent is the single most powerful tool you have. Your calm, your positivity, your involvement, that's what's going to give your child the confidence to build healthy habits that will last their entire life. So I'll leave you with this thought. Every checkup, every time you brush teeth together at night, every positive chat about healthy smiles, it's like you're laying another brick. The question is, what kind of foundation of health are you building for your family's future?